we were just talking about, the importance of work, and in terms of, a personal injury case. And I want to transition now and talk to you a little bit about another type of case that I know that you handle quite a few of, and that's construction accidents. And as a guy, who's out, walking around, Chicago and driving around, city streets during the summer months, I see construction projects everywhere. And a lot of these projects, they're sort of, it's not like they're assembled fairly quickly, and a lot of times there's a rush to get a project done, particularly before the fall. In these particular types of cases, where you have these skilled construction workers who are out there, busting their behinds to earn a living. In these type of cases, if someone is injured on the job, they're working on a busy construction site and they're injured on the job, from a legal perspective, what type of benefits does the law in Ohio afford them when it comes to seeking recourse for their injuries?
Anyone in Ohio that's injured in the course and scope of their employment can get workers' compensation benefits, which primarily, and it's fairly meager to say, and it's sad to say, and it's been cut down as we've gone on through the years because of well, I'm going to say it, chambers of commerce favor the business people, and the business people got the money and they got the lobby, and so the worker, the benefits that they once have don't quite have what they used to have. They can get paid partially their wages for the most part while they're healing up. They can get medical care while they're healing up of their own doctor, although there's some legislation that they're thinking about. If you're on too long, you got to switch to a workers' comp doctor. So you get your, if you're making $24 an hour, you're only going to get part of your wages paid, because it's capped at about $800 a week here in Ohio. You're going to get medical treatment, but you got to go through a managed care organization to get that approved. So there's all these kind of hoops. It's a battle, and then there's some small benefit. If you got a permanent impairment, you get an impairment award. Ultimately, you can settle your case. And you can't sue your employer. Everybody, for the most part, when the employer has not always done something negligent, but done something a little bit that contributed to it, and then they treat the employee pretty crappy. But unless they fire you in retaliation for filing a workers' compensation claim, or they intend to hurt you, like putting a gun to your head, we don't have the ability. It's a trade-off. They're immune from a lawsuit. So what you look for, and I know you do this too, is there an independent third party that caused the accident? So, were you on the job as the electrician, and the pipe fitter from another company dropped a pipe down on your head? Then you actually now have two claims. You have your workers' compensation claim. Now you have a claim for your pain and suffering, the rest of your lost wages, loss of enjoyment of life, that could be as valuable or even more valuable. And the two of them together, you don't get to double dip in Ohio. Back in the old days you used to, but by that I mean, if workers' comp pays you something that you get compensated for in the third-party claim, we have a formula, you got to pay that back. And that's why I like to manage both cases. I do both. I don't ship one out. I want to know what kind of evidence is created, what's going on in both cases, and you can manage both cases to the benefit of the claimant. So, yeah, that happens in the construction industry. It happens to the Federal Express driver that's rear-ended in a car accident. He's hurt while driving around. He's got a workers' comp claim, and he's got a third-party claim against the person who caused his car accident. So, and they're complicated, as you know, also.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, you know, basically every single work-related injury should at least be looked at by an attorney with an eye towards potentially pursuing a third-party case. Is that pretty much a safe blanket statement to say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you really do want to see if there's someone else. It can't be a co-employee. That doesn't count because that is construed to be an employer. So if you're coming out of the parking lot and your co-employee rams into you, you probably in Ohio only have a workers' compensation case. But if it's the guy from the other business next door that hits you, even though you're in the parking lot, those are interesting cases. You may be leaving work, but if you haven't been out of the zone of employment, so to speak, in Ohio, again, it gets complicated. You can have a workers' compensation claim as well as a claim against a third party for their negligence, your pain and suffering, your loss of enjoyment of life, the rest of your medical wages that weren't compensated for.